I haven't done much on the WNBA. I thought I'd do a live stream. It probably won't get any views whatsoever, which is fine. But I think the WNBA playoffs are pretty interesting right now. And I thought I'd just give you my thoughts on it. And whoever wants to watch can watch. If you don't, you don't, obviously. So, as you're aware, the Minnesota Lynx went down in flames in game three. Cheryl Reeve, it's just been announced today that she has been suspended for game four. And I've got some hot takes on this that I wanted to get out there. Um, First off, I think that's just a frustrated coach because overall, I don't know if many thought it, but I didn't think it was a foul that Thomas put on Nafisa Collier. Now, people will disagree or not, not agree. I think it'll depend on what side you're on, what team you're on. But I thought she got the ball clean, and then she clipped her afterwards. But I didn't lose any sleep over that. She went through for the block. There are other fouls that aren't called that I have more of an issue with. But overall, it didn't warrant Cheryl Reeve losing her mind as much as she did. Like it doesn't surprise me that she lost her mind, but I think that's more frustration for the overall 2 years because the way I see it is that this was supposed to be the redemption year for the Lynx. This was almost like the San Antonio Spurs and Popovich when they lost that one to Miami, and then the following year they had their redemption. They were locked in and ready to go, and that's what the script was for these Lynx, and that's what they thought was going to happen, and it just hasn't happened, unfortunately. And really, they only have bad luck and themselves to blame. If you're up 20 in game two and you can't get it done, then yeah, that's on you. Now I can't see the messages here very well because I'm just doing this live from my phone. So I will try to look at the messages as best I can. So see you, Ryan Smith. Um, yeah, so my overall take is that that's the frustration. This was supposed to be their Popovich year of redemption, and two things have happened. Like they're just getting outplayed. If you're winning game two by 20 points and you can't close out, that's where they've lost this series to the Mercury. Hands down. You've got to be able to close out that game. And if you can't do it, that's on you. You can bitch and moan about the officials all you want. Even after game two, like Reeve mentioned the officials and said, "Hey, I think there were six fouls. Like there weren't many fouls called. I think it was like 5 and 6." And she's like, "They didn't call many fouls, but it was equal each way. So be it. That's the way it was going to be. It wasn't any of this. Oh, woe is me. They're being so not calling the foul." So I just think she's frustrated, and then they've just been outplayed because Copper's playing well. Satu Sabli's playing well, and Thomas are playing well, and their big three is outplaying the Lynx big three, and the Lynx don't have a bench unfortunately because Carrington's out with her foot injury, and then based on that, it's they just don't have enough because right now they're not getting anything from Alana Smith. So basically, she only got like 12 minutes in game three, was basically benched for that game. And that's not going to be enough. And they're turning over the ball too much. You put that all together, that loss was on them. They had, the one thing I like about Reeve is she will take it on. Like she said, I should have called the timeout when Bridget Carlson got the 5 second call. So I think she's willing to own her mistakes, but I think she deserves the suspension. I don't have any problem with the game suspension because when you come out, she really went after the refs, and you don't the language she used was inflammatory, and the call that she was upset about wasn't a foul in my opinion. I think it was a line ball call. If you're a Lynx fan, yeah, that's a foul. She took out her leg. If you're a Mercury fan, no, it was a clean steal, and she clipped her as she was going up the court. So yeah, so that one doesn't bother me. But the the things that have hurt them so bad is that Carrington with the foot injury, they're just getting nothing from their bench. All they have is Heidemann, and that's it. And that's not enough. The trade where they traded Diamond Miller just didn't work out. And it's not their fault. It's that Carrington injured her foot, and then before that she had a shoulder. I think if they could do it over again, obviously, time is hindsight, 2020 hindsight. I think they'd much rather have a Diamond Miller. Maybe you could throw her out there on Copper because they have nothing for copper right now. Like she's got too much size for Courtney Williams, and the other one really getting any buckets is Courtney Williams, but she's a liability on defense. Bridget Carlson as well. So Carlson and Alana Smith just aren't doing it, and then they were hurt by the expansion draft because people forget how they lost Zandalacini in the expansion draft. That hurts as well. If Carlson wasn't firing, you could always go to Zandalacini, and maybe she'd give you some 3-point shooting. Now, where is this now? So nobody knows how bad Nafisa Collier's injury was. How bad is the sprain? Will she be able to tape it and play as well? They wiped, looked like to me, the knee to knee contact wiped out the inside of her knee as well. So how sore and sorry is she? Will she be able to play? If she does play, will she be effective? And I think their game 4 depends on McBride just having a game. McBride going off and having a hell of a game. If McBride does that, then I could see this being one of those. We're down everybody, and we just have a hell of a game from McBride. Maybe Smith comes back and Courtney Williams get it done. And then you set yourself up for game 5. But overall, I think the talent is better on the Mercury. I think they deserve to be up in this series. Reeve can complain about the fouls, but if you look at points in the paint, they're just being more physical. They're just being physical, more tougher. And overall, Nate Tibbetts has done a great job. So, I mean, he won this series when he was able to get Satu Sabali on track. That team was on the precipice when he had to send her home. He was able to get her back on track. And now, for all money, they just look like the team to beat. I don't see, looking on the other side, when you look at Indiana and the Aces, for me, I think it's going to be done. I think the Aces are going to clean them up. I don't know if they'll play around with their food or not, if they'll get them in game 4, or if it'll go back to Las Vegas for game 5. When it goes back for game 5, I think the Aces will get it done. And then once again, I just think it'll be the Mercury and Aces, and I don't think anything's stopping the Mercury, because I still, Nafisa Smith is making me eat my words. Like, she's played well, but I think when she goes against Satu Sabali, I think they'll be exposed. That the Aces don't have a power forward, I think that's finally going to be exposed on them. Let me take a look at some of the comments. Back to sport. Y'all want me to go? Oh, God. Can I do this? Let me see if I can see the messages. How do I see the messages here? Okay, yeah, let's go college. All right, I've given you your WNBA content. Oh, the only other thing I'll talk WNBA, Sandy Brondello getting fired. I don't have real passion about that one way or another. She had a loaded team. I think Brondello is not a great, like, she's fine. Like, I think X's and O's, she's fine. But overall, I don't. I think her best skill is just being able to get teams to come together, a whole bunch of different talents, and keeping them together. Like how the Sun imploded when she left. I thought that was very telling. So that's what I think. Let's see, Vukasva. Okay, let's go to the comments. Let's go to college. Everybody wants to talk UConn and USC and UCLA. Here we go. Olivia, is she visited? How many times has Vacosa visited UConn? I think this must be about her 5th visit. If she doesn't wind up going to UConn, that would be amazing, in my opinion. She's a fit for UConn. She's a perfect big for them. She has to go to UConn. That's my hot take. I would be stunned if she doesn't go to UConn. I've been stunned before, though. But yeah, Vacosa is going to UConn. I've said it here. Okay. How do I think USC, and UCLA is going to do this upcoming season? I think UCLA is going to be fine. I think they'll make the Final Four. I don't see. I think it'll come down to, can they get over the top with UConn and handle their defense and not turn over the ball. I think some of that will be based on how Charlize Ledger-Walker blends in Neepkins. Is their backcourt going to be strong enough? That was the real hole last year, is they just crumbled under the pressure of UConn defense and just turned over the ball so much last year. That was my take on those guys. USC, I think they'll be better than expected. They've got Davidson. They've got Kennedy Smith, who are good. They're good players. They're not as strong up front, obviously, with losing Kiki Ariafin and overall, the other thing is they'll be like I think they'll be good, but I don't think they'll take UCLA. I think they'll finish either. I suspect I haven't looked at the Big Ten so far, but I think they'll finish around maybe third, something like that, maybe second. But yeah, I think that obviously I don't think. Well, have they even announced is Juju playing this year? Or like I don't expect her to play, but have they said that officially? Because a lot of times I know with like. Olivia Miles, they played a bit of a cat and mouse game. It wouldn't officially rule her out. So I was wondering if they've done that with her. How do I see these messages? Oh, yeah, you can tell how do I do that? If I do this, there we go. Can y'all hear me all right as well? There we go. Do you think UConn needs a two guard to recruit this year? Nah, UConn's fine. UConn's so loaded, man. So they've got their two guard. Do you think UConn needs a two guard recruit this year? I think they'll be fine. I don't think so because now they're picking and choosing in the portal right now. You can see how it's set up for the future. I can see how they're going to go. Heckle and KK is well. I think Chelly will be out, but Chelly can play guard as well in the future. They still have Ashlyn Shade. They're so loaded. So whatever they get and whoever they're recruiting is will be perfect for them. They do such a good job of looking at the pieces and how they fit in. Like I've got to give it to Gino. Like I'm not saying they all work out. Like you'll get the DeBerry and other ones that haven't worked out, like what is it, Sir McLean and others. But you can see how he's trying to put the puzzle together and how it should work. Do you think UConn needs a two guard? Uh, Man, so ready for this season. Yeah, so am I, Ryan. I'm ready for, I'm ready to see how UConn comes together as well. I want to see South Carolina and see how the fit oh God, I'm going to say Lattimore. That's not right. Melissa, God, who is it? I've forgotten her name. Jesus, the guard from Florida State. I want to see how it fits in with South Carolina. I want to see the improvement in Joyce Edwards, and I want to see what UCLA looks like with Neepkins, because that's the key. There is Neepkins combined with Betts. I want to. And then Corey Close is making a lot of noise. They're not going to go to Lauren Betts as much. I want to see how that plays out a little bit. And if Lauren Betts buys into that, if it gets rough, I just want to see how UCLA goes. I think that'll be interesting. Yeah, thank you. Tanaya Latson. Did I get that right? Tanaya. Yeah, Tanaya Latson. I always add an S on her for some reason. Okay. Yeah, she's the guard. Her and Raven and then Tessa Johnson. I think South Carolina. I think Tessa Johnson's one of the big keys because they're going to need more shooting. I think much like when God, Ohio State. God, I've forgotten her name. I'm terrible with names now. Ohio State 2 years ago when they beat UConn, they lost their 3-point shooter. God, what was her name? She could really shoot the ball. She had a cup of coffee in the WNBA. Who was that? Does anybody remember? Ohio State shooter. She left. She was a 4-year player and a good player, but what they just really missed that shooting. I think much the same way. Tahina Pow, they're gonna miss her shooting 40% from the 3-point line. Like she's just a monster. That outside shooting she gives them, I think is just. I don't think South Carolina realizes how much they're gonna miss her. And yeah, the other one is with Dawn Staley. She was talking about Raven Johnson. It was like, yeah, she looks good. She looks physically good, and she's figured it out. It's taken her a bit longer than we wanted to for her to figure it out. I was like, ooh, that's a bit of a shot across the bow. So if it doesn't go well for her this year, I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. What could a recruiting haul of McKenna, Velichko, Addison Bjorn, and Jessica Lewis do for Iowa team that has so much young talent already? Yeah, I think I want to see how the parts fit together. I want to see how Velichko looks. I like Bourne. I think has she officially committed there yet or not? There are all these rumors that announced what's going to happen, but until I see like Talia Goodman reported, I don't believe it. But the thing that Iowa has going for it is if you're a good college player, you they can sell the good college player on, hey, we made Caitlin Clark a star. Come here and let us do this for you. We have a fan base that will support you. Come here, be the next Caitlin Clark. And I'm not saying that anybody's going to be the next Caitlin Clark, but it's clear if you play well at Iowa, the fans will come out and it'll be a crazy program. It'll be good. Uh, let's see. I think Iowa gets them big. I'm hearing McKenna committed, but it's not official. That's what I'm hearing too. But I am not. I'm not going to report on it till I'm not a reporter. But I'm not. I've been burned too many times. I won't speculate on that one until I see the Instagram shot of her wearing the gear, saying, "Yeah, she's going there." Do you think Khalees is Gandy getting? No, I don't think. I don't. I think Khalees has a chance of getting minutes. I think Khalees Fisher does, but not many because I could see her sort of being what Daniel Conley was saying was she's sort of instant offense. Like she'll do three things that are like, wow, she can get to the basket and just blow you away. But on the same time, she'll do like three turnovers and you're like, what are you doing? And just would have Gino pulling out his hair. So I think her time, maybe a bit of change of pace, or if they're blowing somebody out, she'll get her time. Gandy, no, Gandy is a project. I think if it goes well, Gandy will get minutes maybe in her junior and senior year, but I don't see any like she's not getting minutes in front of Sarah Williams. She's not getting minutes in front of Ice Brady. There's just too much in front of her. Like as well, Jana L. Alfie. Like where are the minutes going to come from? So I don't see it. I don't know. Have you watched the? I don't know if y'all have watched the Sarah Strong mic'd up. It's good to watch, but Sarah's like guarding Gandy in the post, and she pulls out the chair and steals the ball. Like that one just showed me. It's so good to see how good she is. Not only that, but Blanca. Blanca is big. Like you look at them, and she's eye to eye with Sarah Strong. So Blanca is a big, and she can shoot as well. So Gino loves spreading the floor and using shooters. So yeah, I don't see that. Who is your surprise team this year? Um, Surprise team this year. Da, 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 da. Uh, Tell you that I bet. Let's see. I think USC will be better than people think they are. So I could see them surprising people early on. Because I know she takes a lot of heat, Gottlieb, but I think Gottlieb does all right putting teams together. I think it'll be them versus the world. I could see that being a surprise team. I need to look at Notre Dame and what they have. Will they come out blazing early on, and will Hannah just take it up? Hannah Hidalgo take it up a next level just because she has just total freedom to do whatever the hell she wants. And that could be a blessing and curse. I think they could be unexpectedly better than people think. TCU with Olivia Miles, is it going to be the same thing with them again? Who else would be a surprise? Give me some as well. I can't think of any. Uh, Louisville, I haven't looked at what Louisville has. I keep on thinking Louisville is going to surprise me, be fundamentally really good, but last year they didn't bounce back. I thought they might have a bounce back year. Who else could I think of? Michigan. Michigan. How about Michigan? How about them? How about Michigan finishing second in the Big Ten? They've got Swords. They've got Hobbs. Who else is the point guard? Who's the point guard? I forget the point guard's name. Maybe they could be a surprise team. That one would be interesting. So there you go. My official surprise team is Michigan. That's who my surprise team is. Let's see. What else do I think with basketball this year? I think it stinks that the schedule's not as good for UConn. I went through their schedule. I just don't see many challengers on UConn's schedule. It's really disappointing that they're not playing South Carolina, in my opinion, as well. It's not their fault. It's really disappointing that Juju's out because that really puts a big hole in their schedule. And I know I said that USC will be surprising and better than expected, but yeah, I wish it felt like last year there were more marquee matchup games. Uh, um, Yeah, I thought instead of I've got a list of the top 10 players. I thought I was going to do maybe a list of the top 10 players. That was, I actually got that. I've got them listed who I want to do. I think I've hesitated on that one just because I take so much grief on the top 10 videos that everybody's going to yell at me, but that's fine. I've got a list that I'm comfortable with. And yeah, I think it's pretty clear who my number one's going to be. The best challenge, Tennessee and Ohio State. Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah. Ohio State. I don't. Yeah, I need to look at Ohio State, but from what I saw, Jelani, Cambridge, and that's it. Like because they had God, who went to Ole Miss? See, I wish they had better setups in the tournament. I liked like the Thanksgiving tournament. Like I liked the because their tournament, their like Thanksgiving game. I can't remember who they're playing, but it's not as impressive as previous years. Because previous year they went to Cayman, they played UCLA and lost that, and then they got a good game versus God, who was it? Ole Miss. I thought that was a good tournament for them, but I don't see that set up this year. Yeah, Tennessee. I'm curious. That's another video I want to do is Tennessee. I was looking at their lineup before, and now that Whitehorn is back, that'll be an interesting team. It was I can't remember. Is it? Don't want to get it wrong. I think it was Jada Silva. I think one of their top recruits. Um, yeah, Caldwell was like, it didn't sound like she was in the greatest shape. That was my take on that. LSU as well. What am I thinking about LSU? Um, I saw Mulkey's press conference. It was interesting. The best thing, or the most interesting thing I took away from that press conference was that Mulkey's saying that they're going to use, um, God, God, I've lost her name. Lay. They're going to use Lay as a point guard. Like she said, yeah, she'll be a point guard, off guard. But yeah, we are going to try to get her to be a point guard. I'm thinking, oh God, can you just see Mulkey going off? Like if she drove Don Staley crazy, imagine what Lay. Imagine Kim Mulkey having her be her point guard. I just that'll be popcorn watching. Cody, yes, Cody left for Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss will be interesting to see how Coach Yo puts that together. They have so many transfers in. I'd need to look at Ole Miss as well. I think the 26-27 season will be more exciting. So many surprises with the recruiting. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think again, I'll eat my words on this. I got no doubt. I don't see any way that it's not UConn winning the championship this year. I just think they're going to storm through this year. If you have Sarah Strong and AZ Fudd, and if they stay healthy, I just think it's going to be a fait accompli. The only interesting thing will be is if it's South Carolina, they didn't play each other, so we didn't get a preview of it, and it's a one and done game. Could it be a game where UConn doesn't shoot well and chokes in the big game or something like that? But otherwise, I just think 25-26 we'll go through it. Mulkey's playing. Oh, is she? Is she playing Zakaya at the four? Is she? Who's their other big they got? Who's the other four they got? I've lost her name. I've done videos on it. I should remember it. Who's the she's number four recruit in the country, I think she was, with LSU. Because who's their recruiting class? They've got Zakaya Johnson. They had the big, and then they had like I think it was Bella Hines, a point guard, which I don't think she'll get a lot of time. And there was another one they had as well. Um, and it would be interesting to see if yeah, Kate Caval, she transferred in as well. So how it comes together. My question with LSU, I think I put this in one of my videos. Would they have been better off paying the $1 million to Chavez? And we'll see how good Chavez is. But would they have been better off sorting out their point guard position once and for all and getting a point guard that Mulkey's happy with versus her just constantly being pissed off at her point guard? Because uh, Emily, let me go back to that and stuff. So yeah, I think that's the thing. Like I've done the take a lot, but Kim Mulkey treats her point guards much like Steve Spurrier used to treat the quarterbacks. Just throwing just hands up in the air and just constantly pissed off with him ever since Haley Van Lith. And then after Van Lith, you had Poa that she wasn't real happy with last year. Supposedly Dave Wilson was going to solve the problem. She didn't solve the problem. Maybe Jada Richard will be the solution for her. But that's my question is Kim Mulkey never seems happy with her point guards. Um, with Emily Rodriguez, yeah, I was surprised. Like I did that video, Tim, years ago, and that was I was surprised that they'd offered her a spot, and I couldn't do the math on how they were going to be able to offer Sarah Strong a spot. The video I saw of her, like she was just raw. She wasn't um, like she was a big guard, like a big point guard. Um, but yeah, she was raw. But I haven't seen updated film on her, so yeah, I don't have much to say about her. Um, what is what is this one? To be honest, yeah. What is that one for? I'm not sure. UConn wanted Emily Rodriguez out of high school. If that tells you anything, yeah, they wanted to, but yeah, I was questioning like, God, why? Who was the one? Sometimes UConn. Well, I here's my take on that. I think Gino. I think he understands that you can't have a team of 15 stars, although I don't think he minds a few projects to see how they develop. I think that's why Gandhi Malou has a spot, or that's why they recruited her. I think that had something to do with Emily Rodriguez. A few years ago, when Paige Beckers had her knee injury, you could say they panicked. Who was the point guard they brought in? Was it Ennis? Was it Ennis? Who was the point guard they brought in after Beckers had her injury? And it was clear that she wasn't. Her transferring out, I think, actually gave them the space to go get Sarah Strong and bring in other ones. So yeah, that's my take on that. South Carolina, UConn was in her Final Four. Yeah, yeah. So and again, I haven't seen enough on Rodriguez to see how good she is. I'm curious to see it. Love to see. I hope everybody excels as well. Lou Lopez, no, not Lou Lopez. No, Lou Lopez was a great transfer. What'd she transfer in from? She came from a junior college, didn't she? She came, or not a junior college. Where'd she come from, Lou Lopez? Where'd she transfer in from? I can't remember. Was it like, wasn't St. Mary's? I can't remember. Where did Lou Lopez? Yes, Ennis Betancourt. That's the one. Yeah, Ennis Betancourt. Fairfield. Yeah, Lou Lopez. I always wondered with Lopez, was it just a situation she could not make it on the next level of the WNBA, or was she sabotaged by Dallas? Because she was great at UConn. She was always well balanced, maybe a little bit small, like thin, and could be bumped a bit. But man, I just thought she would have a better career. And at the end of that year with UConn, she had that knee. And then straight away when she went to Dallas, she had that knee issue as well. So she never seemed quite right. But yeah, who was the coach that took over for Dallas? Never a big fan of her. The one that's now the defensive coach for the LA Sparks. Who was that? The Trisha Trammell. Yeah, Trammell never seemed like she was a fan of hers. Um, yeah, I think she's playing in Europe. Has anybody seen anything on Nika Mule? Is she playing yet or not? Is she playing in Europe? Or any updates on her knee injury? Because I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked for it either. So I don't know if you guys have seen anything on that. Um, so let's see. What else do I have? Any other questions? I think I'll probably wrap this up. I think I'm hitting about 30 minutes. Any other questions before I go? Hit them. I think Blanca. I think there's. I think she has a path to getting playing time and playing well. Because one, I think, I don't know if Morgan Shelley's going to play this year. I suspect Morgan Shelley's going to redshirt, and she's that sort of big that can spread things. And the other thing is Ducharme, Caroline Ducharme. By all reports, she's playing well, but how long will that last? She's just a shot away, and I'm not wishing this to happen. You just don't know with the conditions she had, and I think Gino said it before. She can be great for a week and then all of a sudden start getting neck and head pain and it turns into an issue. So there's definitely an avenue where Blanca can get playing time. And like I said, her shot looks good. She's gotten experience as a pro overseas and played in Italy. She's obviously mature. So yeah, I think there's definitely I have more out of all of them. I think Blanca probably has the best chance of getting the most playing time of the freshmen coming in. So I think it's between her and Fisher. I don't see Gandy getting much time at all, not at all. And then I guess technically Heckle's a transfer. I see Heckle backing up KK. She's love your videos. I need more Iowa videos. I watched a lot of them and they were so good, but so are your videos. Yeah, I need to get Iowa in the wheelhouse because, like you say, if they get that class, they're going to be good. What I try to do is hone in on teams that I find interesting and start to get to know the players. So I feel like, although when I do it live, I can't remember the names. I feel like I have a pretty good feel of what LSU is trying to do. I feel like I have a really good idea of what UCLA, what their roster looks like. I need to take another look at USC with the transfers in. Yeah, I want to have Iowa be one of those teams I have a handle on. I'm curious about Michigan as well with Swords and Hobbs and how they could come together. I think that could be an interesting year team. Jersey kept her recruit uh, quiet. I think she's a UCL. Jersey kept her recruitment quiet. I think she's a UCLA Bruins. Oh, really? Is she going to UCLA? She announced that. That would be interesting. The other one, I did a video on Agot McKeer. McKeer looks interesting. The only thing I worry about Agot McKeer, if we're talking about the recruits going in this year, I just worry about her staying healthy, just because her body is just so thin. That's the one thing I worry about Agot McKeer. Yeah. So, but yeah, because in watching that team, yeah, I think she's what would I say? I think she's what you draw up when you think a 3 and D player almost. What's this? No, I'm just guessing. It makes sense because they are losing 8, have only 3 forwards for the 26-27 season. Yeah, I'm curious to see what UCLA does. Like, got to give it to Corey Close. She can recruit. Now, can she keep him when she has him? Unfortunately, that was a bad look. Everybody leaving, and that's a case of just bringing in. I didn't think the parts fit with Corey Close. Like, I think that's what UConn does well. The parts fit the puzzle, and I just I never saw the power forward they brought in. God, I've lost her name. Who's the power forward they brought in for UCLA last year? Now she's gone to Tennessee. God, I can't remember names. Uh, Agot got bullied in the FIBA basketball. Oh, did she? Did she play for UCLA? No, she played for Canada. Who'd she get bullied by? What game? I didn't watch that. Janai Barker, thank you. Yeah, Barker. I never saw the fit with Barker in UCLA. I never, and that's what I think UConn did better or does better than UCLA. I can see UConn, their transfers in. I can see how Heckle fits into UConn to fit that point guard, backup point guard role that has a different type of game to KK Arnold. I can see how Sarah Williams will hopefully fit in for them. But yeah, I never saw how uh, Barker would fit in at UCLA. And then but I tell you what, I can see how Barker would work at Tennessee. Like she's perfect for Tennessee. And Caldwell saying they're trying to fix her shot, just give her confidence in shooting it. Like Barker's game, she regressed at UCLA. I'm curious to see what Tennessee does with her, and if just playing hard. I think that's the one thing I like about Kim Caldwell. She makes it simple. She's like, go out there, play your ass off for 5 minutes, do as hard as you can, and I'm gonna bring you off. Do everything you can, and just play your game hard. I like it. I do like that with Caldwell. I'm curious to see if the style works this year with people having more film on them and ready for it. But man, I thought it worked great last year. I think they wore out of gas. And she mentioned that. the other part, when I saw Caldwell in her press conference, she was sort of reflective on that and said, "Yeah, I think I gassed the team. I think I pushed them too hard." And she was like, "You know, choose your poison because you're trying to get your systems in and get people ready, and you can blow them out early, but you sort of have to do that to get them to know what your system is." But yeah, I thought overall, I thought she did a good job with that team, and I think her plan is to take the gas pedal off a little bit. And I'm curious to see if Tennessee, because I think one of the things that defines a good coach is how the team finishes up a season. That's one of the things, and that's one of the things UConn does well. Is oftentimes you'll find UConn is playing their best basketball when it goes into the tournament. He has them at the right time, and in much the same way, that's the big critic of UCLA. I think UCLA, and I just saw it down here. I haven't read the comment yet, but somebody mentioned Niele Ivy. They have not finished up well at the end of the season. They don't play their best basketball at the end of the year. I did think Caldwell did a good job of getting Tennessee on track. I mean, the goal for them was to get out of that first round and to make it to the Sweet 16. So she did that. So that's a win on her part. And that's what I think will define her this year. How can Tennessee do in the tournament? Can they get further? I think Nell, Ivy, and Notre Dame needs to be watching Iowa film with CC to understand what they need to do to be successful this year. Yeah, I I need to look at Notre Dame's parts. I know they got some transfers in. I need to look at them better. I think losing Caval really hurt them. If they would have had her, I would have been more bullish on them. But yeah, with Ivy, the thing that worries me about Ivy is just it's 3 years in a row that they don't finish well, and you gotta. But I do like the idea that um, you're gonna let Hannah Hidalgo do what she does and just let her go out there and play her game. I think Olivia comes to if Olivia comes to UConn, Gandy is gonna have to transfer. I'd need to look at UConn's roster and who's leaving. So who's leaving at the end of this year? So Fudd's gone, and then who else? Who else is a senior this year? Who else is graduating? So Fudd is graduating. Who are the graduating players from UConn this year? So Fudd's a senior. Caroline Descharmes. So that's two spaces. That takes your roster down to 13. And then who else would it be? And then seeing if anybody transfers out. Would Zabel transfer out potentially? That's the question. I'm curious to see UConn if they stick or don't. Fudd, Sarah, and oh yeah, Sarah. Yeah. I forgot about Sarah Williams. Okay, yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, so that's three. So that gives you 12 spots, and then to two potentially transfer out. That would be interesting to see. Um, oh, Lee Macy. Yeah. Well, I think Macy will get time. They'll have to give her time. What was Macy like? Number 12 recruit or something like that? She was solid. Um, you think Olivia Facosa might go to Ohio State? Or are you thinking could be very successful with? Is McGuff in trouble as well with the DUI? Like I've stayed away from that, but I know he got the DUI in the offseason. Is he in trouble because of that? And then I don't know, but I was curious about that. And just if they have a down year, I'm just wondering if he's going to start feeling the pressure now because I think more pressure is getting on these college coaches. I'm curious if they've had enough of a breakthrough for him to if they would go in a different direction or if it's too it's always dangerous doing the coach if you can't get a replacement that's better. I still say if I was looking to hire a coach, the guy I would be looking to bring in would be the one from Oregon State. What was that? Who was the coach for Oregon State? Loved his offense. He had the team, and then they all abandoned him because they didn't make the cut for the Big Ten. Unfortunately for him, I can't remember who it was. Leah ranked number 15. She didn't play for a year and move up to. Why didn't she play? Was it a knee injury? Scott, yeah, Ruick. Yeah, I love Scott Ruick. I love his offense. Like I'm biased to offense because I can't play defense. So I love teams that have offense. I liked his offense. I thought it was clinical. I thought they gave that year where they had all their parts. I thought they played South Carolina tough, which was impressive that year, and There was a I thought going into the game with Notre Dame, uh, it was I thought very similar talent, and I just thought his team was better drilled in the end and got them. I mean, but at the same time, was that the game where I think that was the game where Hannah Hidalgo spent like half the quarter taking out her nose ring, which I thought was utterly ridiculous. That was just so bad on the NCAA, letting her wear a nose ring the whole entire year and then saying, oh no, no, it's an Elite 16 game. No, we need to have you take out your nose ring now. It's like, come on, what are they doing? Uh, yeah, I thought so too, Tim. I thought that was the saddest story of realignment was Oregon State because that team was fun and it was unfortunate for the players as well. Like that, Talia Van Olhoffen was so much better at that team than USC. It was so much of a better fit for her skill set and everything. Like she fit into that team better. He maximized her skills better, and then you had Beers, and that was a good team because they had Gardner as well. So they had Beers, Gardner, and Talia Van Olhoffen, and then they had somebody else. They had one that went to LSU, the point guard. I think it was Hunter. They had players that yeah. It's such a shame that team got broken up. Tamia Gardner. Tamia Gardner at UCLA. I'm curious what she'll look like this year because I think she was battling a knee injury. They were saying last year, so I want to see what she does. All right, yep. I need to go and pick up my son. Um, Thanks for watching this. Yeah, there's just I wanted to get my thoughts on the Lynx, and I thought I was just sitting around. Might as well do that. And then of course we got into college ball. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. I don't know. I doubt anybody's gonna watch this, but if they do, great. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, yeah. I wanna. Yeah, we'll see you around the next video. I'll try to get one up on Tennessee and the top 10 players. Those are the ones I'm going to try to get out. All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good night.